Today we're going to be doing something totally different. We're going to be chasing UFOs. So come with me and I will explain. Right, here I am in Rendlesham Forest. And just over there is RAF Woodbridge, which used to be an air base for the US Air Force. And back in December 1980, just over there, was spotted by one of the personnel on the base what they thought was a UFO. So what we're going to do, we're going to film over the base to start with, because it's now not in use, no longer used. And then we're going to go over to where the purported UFO landed, and we're going to go and film around there as well. Take a look at RAF Woodbridge today. It's quiet, forgotten even. It seems like just another patch of English countryside that nature is slowly taking back. But for over 30 years this was a critical front line in a nuclear war that, thankfully, never happened. As the Cold War cast its long dark shadow over Europe, this quiet airfield was transformed into a powerhouse for the United States Air Force. Its public job was a fighter base, but that hid a much deeper, more unnerving secret. Back in the 1950s, the fighter squadrons here had a primary mission: to escort the Strategic Air Command's B-47 Stratojet bombers. And these weren't just any bombers, they were America's frontline nuclear strike force in Europe. The fighters from Woodbridge were the guardians of the apocalypse, there to make sure those bombers could reach their targets deep inside the Eastern Bloc if the Cold War ever went hot. It just goes to show that Woodbridge was never merely a defensive outpost. It was a key piece of America's offensive power right from the early days of the conflict. But the biggest secret at Woodbridge wasn't the command post. Hidden deep inside Rendlesham Forest, right on the base, was the weapons storage area. Behind multiple layers of high security fencing and under constant watchful guard, this area held a series of earth-covered concrete bunkers known as igloos. These were not for storing regular bombs. These bunkers were built to hold nuclear weapons. But the biggest event that RAF Woodbridge would remain famous for didn't happen on the base, but deep inside the surrounding forest.
Every part of my military training screamed at me to hang back. But I had to know. So, in the middle of that silent, frozen forest, I reached out, and I touched it.
In the final freezing days of 1980, Cold War tensions were high. On December the 26th, security patrols saw strange lights descending into Rendlesham Forest. Thinking it was a downed plane, Sergeant Jim Penniston was sent to investigate. What he found was not a plane crash, but what would become known as Britain's Roswell. As Penniston entered the woods, the air crackled with static. In a clearing, he saw it. A triangular craft, 9 feet across, with a smooth black glass surface pulsing with lights. A trained crash investigator, Penniston knew it matched no known aircraft. He saw strange symbols on its side and felt compelled to touch one. The surface was warm. Instantly, a white light flooded his vision as a stream of binary code. Ones and zeros flashed through his mind. Moments later, the craft silently lifted off and vanished. The story didn't end there. The next morning, investigators found 3 indentations in the frozen ground where the craft had been. A Geiger counter showed significantly higher radiation levels in that spot. 2 nights later, the lights came back. This time, Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, a skeptic, went to investigate. He recorded his team witnessing a pulsing, red, sun-like object in the trees, and other objects making impossible angular turns in the sky. One shot a beam of light down near the base's nuclear weapons storage area. These weren't casual observers, they were ranking US Air Force officers. Their official reports and recordings make Rendlesham one of the most compelling UFO cases ever. What do you think they encountered?